burbler, he's in his element. It's just like nature. It's what we're all about. Wagons ho! Have a look at that! Just when they think it's safe to come out. Not an animal! Bang! I guess in the end, that's probably why we all go fishing. Well, folks, it's great to be back at South Australia with our Rex Hunt South Australian representative here, Shane, the Jinx Mensforth.
Thank you very much.
Now, we've had some jinxes all around Australia, mate, but we've had some good trips and we've had some ordinary trips.
Yeah, the good ones have been outnumbered the bad ones, I reckon.
They have, but you said that if you were to place a vital part of your anatomy on the line today, you would bet it or them, and you said, Rexy, we're going to kick some butt today. What do you mean by that?
Well, conditions are perfect out here, Rex, and we're with a good skipper, a good boat in a great area.
Yeah.
And I've done a bit of fishing here before, so I know what it's like. And
yeah,
if we can't catch a snapper or an nanny here today, yeah, you can do what you like.
And what's the name of this boat?
Short Fuse. Kangaroo Island Fishing Adventures. Gavin Solly, the skipper. Great boat, great area.
Pretty quick, Shane, wasn't it?
That's the way it should always be, mate.
Is that right?
Hit the bottom, take up the slack, and what is it? Bang.
Bang. You going to nominate it or what?
I reckon we've got a couple of red snapper nanny guys here, mate.
Do you? A couple?
Well, one each. You've got two hooks, so you might have two. There's plenty of them down there.
Is there? Well.
And these are the staple fish on the deep reefs out here. They're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I've called mine well.
You got colour?
Yes, called that well.
It's a snapper. It's an ordinary snapper.
Very ordinary snapper. Nice little fish, kilo and a half.
Oh, just perfect to eat, isn't it?
Magnificent fish to eat. Really, really good. And when there's one of these out here, mate, there's usually thousands of them.
Is there? Yeah. Lifting and winding. And winding. We'll have colour in a minute. I can feel the line getting a little bit finer. Very, very good start by Shane over there, I can tell you now. About 3 pound in the old scale. Now I've got colour. I've got colour. And I've got 2. Look at that. That is just quite an amazing thing of how quick it was. My goodness me. But just how quick it was. Come on, mate. Look at that. They're down there in their absolute thousands. One thing that you've got to watch wherever you go in Australia, although these are the same fish, in Queensland they'll call them a squire. In Western Australia they'll call them a red snapper, but you'll see very, very shortly a red snapper in South Australia is a different sort of fish. I call it a nanagai. Thing about it is you've got to check the state's regulations. Bag limits and size limits. Now the size limit for snapper in South Australia, Shane, is?
38 centimetres, Rex.
38 centimetres. Now, I haven't got a rule, but I would say that they are well and truly 38 centimetres. In Melbourne, you'd be on the front page of Fishing News for catching a fish like that. But I just have a message for a few of you fisheries blokes that sit there and make rules. I tell you what, I don't know where you're coming from. You want to protect this species? They're breeding like flies, absolutely breeding like flies, and these are one of the fish, along with several other species, that the anglers can take and eat. We manage our fisheries if they're in trouble. Here, we've been here for 2.5 minutes. Shane's got a ripper, I've got 2 rippers, and Shane's on again. shortage of snapper in South Australia, folks. I reckon he's got a barracuda on. Now, this is a serious example of what fishing is about.
Incoming, Rex.
Oh, my word. Have a look at that, folks. That is a barracuda as against a barracuda. And we'll just let him settle down because there are hooks flying around. You might like to grab him there, mate. And once again, folks, I am in absolute piscatorial heaven here. Snapper is one of my favourite eating fish, but I can remember when I had hair and a little less roof over the tool shed in my younger days, the old fish and chips, the package in Melbourne, fresh cooter and chips. Beautiful big long bones, you get rid of them. One of the oiliest fish in the sea, but these are the incinerator of the ocean. Have a look at the teeth there. Now, Michael will get right in there. Have a look at those teeth at the top. The poor pilchard comes along. He goes in the mouth and he goes chomp just like that. And that's exactly what happens to the fish. They are just an absolute piscatorial incinerator. That's a normal one. And I tell you what, that's going into the slurry as well. What a fantastic start to our Kangaroo Island fishing adventures.
It's amazing, Rex and I are using totally different rigs, but we're both catching good fish. I'm using 2 hooks in one pilchard, 2 6.0 mustard big reds in a pilchard. Rex has got 2 separate droppers with half pilchards, and he can pick up a double header, whereas I can just get 1 fish, but both very effective. Doesn't matter where you fish, use the local rigs, you do fairly well.
It's taken me the time that you've been away to wind this up and pull these 2 in. Now, Shane has got an interesting fish and I'm going to go to him in a minute. There's another snapper there, so he can go in the slurry. Come on, mate. We'll get him over there. And Gavin, if you'd be good enough to take that. Thank you very much, Gavin. And this is what's called a barber perch. They're locally called a Peter fish. It's to be after Peter Barber. And Peter will be watching today. He's from Semaphore, and he is the local physical education teacher at the local school. Peter, all the best to you and your kids. You want to bring them out here. I tell you what, fishing's great family fun for the kids. So he can't go back because his swim bladder's gone now. Shane, you absolute beauty. Very good looking fish, these Chinaman leather jacket.
They are.
Tell us a bit about the Chinaman leather jacket.
Well, this is the biggest leather jacket that's caught in South Australia. In fact, in Australia, they grow up to 1 metre long and can weigh up to 4 or 5 kilos. And these are the guys that the commercial trappers go out and hunt.
Yeah.
Very important commercial species.
They are. I buy them up at Southland at the Cheltenham Market. I call them Elvis Presley fish, the old leather jacket. We've done this before. That is what they really survive on. That is their area where they say to the predators, you get away or I'll spike you. And these fish down here have got serious Dick Emery material, the old teeth. And mate, I won't be kissing you if it's all right.
Well, I wouldn't want you to kiss me, you big ugly thing.
Goodness me, kids. That fish spoke to you. Can you say it again?
No.
Goodness me. Elvis Presley fish, I'm going to eat him too. Gee, I'm going to be busy. Folks, I call this lucky dip fishing, and it is fantastic for the family. Now, we've come out with Kangaroo Island fishing adventures, and I can tell you now we're in the middle of Investigator Strait here. Up there, the Australian mainland. Up there, Adelaide. Over here, Kangaroo Island. And down here, very, very deep water. The thing about it is it's a lucky dip. You don't know what you're going to get, so you give them plenty to eat. What I do is use the best bait I believe in the sea, which is squid. It's easy to put on. There is not a fish in the sea that will not scoff down a bit of squid. You cut it up in cubes like that or use the baby squid and it hits the bottom and yibbity yibbita, folks, bang. The other thing that I always like to have here in South Australia, because, look, one of the real reasons I come to South Australia is to catch your whiting. You'll know that at my fish and chip shop at Delish Fish at Station Pier, Melbourne, we serve fresh South Australian King George whiting. So I always have a bait that I know is going to catch a whiting. Certainly that squid's going to be there, but my experience has been that if I give a King George whiting, the old Chinese fish, the white ting, a choice between squid and pilchard, most times he'll take it because they like a bit of oil. Everyone likes a bit of oil. And as Sol used to say, oils ain't oils, folks. And down we go for another lucky dip again.
Rex, it's a long way from the top to the bottom, I tell you, isn't it? I've got a double here. No, what was it? I've had another fish follow it up. But once they're in a school like this, they're just about all the same size. You might get one up to about 2 kilos, but nothing bigger. But there's just squillions of them down there.
Beautiful fish. Come on now, up to Rexy. Up to Rexy. Up to Rexy. Up to Rexy. Okay, here we got colour. Have a look at this. We have got a Chinaman leather jacket. And isn't that just absolutely magnificent? One of my favourite eating fish, apart from the barracuda that Shane throws back and doesn't let me have. One of my favourite eating fish in the sea. Come on, mate. I'll get that out of you. There you go.
Well, the tide's turned and we've swung off the reef a little bit, but it doesn't seem to matter. Once you get the fish interested in your baits and your burley, they're going to follow you. We've probably swung 100 metres from where we started, and these little snapper have still followed us. It's just a matter of getting to the bottom, taking up the slack, and they're on you straight away. Now, of course, we've got bag limits down here in South Australia. We can just take 10 of these per person, and that's plenty for a meal. So we must be getting pretty close to that by now. So let's see what this guy is and maybe wrap it up. Another magnificent little snapper. And I've been using pilchard for bait, but he just threw out a heap of squid, which indicates that's what they're feeding on down there. Naturally, the squid, or they might have ripped one of these off from Rex's baits. You never know.